Hey, hi everybody. Good morning. Today I am so fortunate to have a young man in Hong Kong who is an entrepreneur, and he just set up some time for me to interview him. I am in San Francisco, so his name is John Wong. Hey, John. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, Winston. Thanks for having me.
Oh, fantastic. You are such a successful and young entrepreneur. So let me kind of get to know you a little bit first. I understand that a while back you actually were in the United States for a number of years. Can you start off from that as a background and tell us something about that?
Yes, sure. Thanks for calling all the way from San Francisco. I was raised in Hong Kong, so a local Hong Konger. And in my last year of high school, I went to the US. Actually, I was in North Carolina, Charlotte, for for the last year of high school. Then went to college, Duke University, for a few years. Background was in computer science and electrical engineering. And then I went to California, which was very hot. It was around the year 2000. Actually, the bubble just bursted, the tech bubble. And it was really hard to find a job. But ultimately, I was with AT&T, the telecom company. So for a few years before I returned to Hong Kong and start my business. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. Oh, so in the that was in the just right before or around the year 2000, is that right?
Yeah, 2001 was when I was when I graduated. Yeah, so uh
Wow, that is interesting because my son was graduated. My son was the year of 2001.
oh,
Yeah,
how was it then?
yeah,
Okay,
I'm really
similar.
good,
All
really
right.
fantastic. That was a tough year. Of course you remember. It was a very
Yeah.
tough year because of the 9/11. The 9/11 happened, in 2001. And my son was, he graduated early. He graduated in, Christmas, the year 2000. So he started working there, and he was in LA in 2001. So,
Mm,
so you were in Silicon Valley, so very close by.
pretty close. Yes.
Yes, all right. But I'm so impressed with your background. Duke University is probably number within number 10, in terms of ranking. So and you study computer science now. What what brings you? What brought you back to Hong Kong?
Well, it's a combination of things. Where I was working in a technical department. We were doing a voice recognition technology application. I was at a certain career level. I was supervising maybe 8 to 10 people. But to get to the next level is also a bit hard. And also maybe a bit homesick. uh, it's just a hunch. At a certain point, you really I was in my late 20s, and you would have a feel of where you want to be. It's really hard to explain, but I thought Hong Kong is really the place to be. So I just got rid of all the house, cars. When I was on the plane, it's a very transcendent experience. I had no keys in my pocket. It's the first time in my life, or anyone. It's really rare for anyone not to have a key and at any moment in their life. So that was a special one.
What was that you went back to Hong Kong?
And then I returned to Hong Kong with just a suitcase, and then
Yeah,
just
what year? What year was that when you went?
2000 and I think 2006.
Oh,
Um,
2006.
Yeah, after I was back, I consulted for Accenture in Hong Kong for a couple of years, the software
Yes.
consultancy, right? And then after a couple of years, I really, because my family was in business in China, a factory, right? Some kind of a metal factory. We make bathroom faucets, if that makes
Mm,
sense. Yeah.
yes.
Sanitary products, metallic ones, right? And
Mm,
what I chose to do is completely different. But I really wanted to do something that we could sell online, that we could make a brand for that has some uh, product segregation. Because if I were to sell maybe cell phone case or clothing, then I would be buying from someone and trading it off essentially. So, but for a gifting shop, we can always put a bit of thoughts, efforts into it and serve people a bit better. So that's how we started.
I understand that when you started this gift business 15 years ago, you had three people. Is that right?
Yes, yes. My background wasn't in gift wrapping or packing flowers, so I had no
Mm-hmm.
background. So we just had an open hiring to fulfill these positions, and I was using code to write our first websites. It was pretty rough. Started from a small place in Hong Kong, yeah, maybe 600 square feet, something like that.
Wow. So in 15 years, your company is on top of the business. I understand that you are almost ready to go IPO. Is that right?
Yeah, we we have some plan to file for U.S. Let's say the U.S. capital market. Sometime in August, we'll be filing, but it would be a long process also. But it is a difficult journey, to be honest, Winston. So, in our second year, we almost folded. We didn't know how to do business. It's really tough because for an engineer or anyone not in business their whole life, it's a whole learning curve, right? So it took us maybe 8 to 9 years to reach number one in Hong Kong in terms of corporate gifting. But it was a roller coaster ride, to say the least. A lot of
Hmm.
learning and a lot of mistakes made. Yeah.
So I think you are probably the number one gift company in Hong Kong. Is that right?
Yes, in terms of corporate gifting, first of all, gift is a very wide topic, right? From a husband buying a scarf to their wife is a gift, right? So we are more on the corporate general gifting around seasons. Every company must have certain VIPs, key customers, key selling channels, or key suppliers, right? That they should maintain a good relationship with. And gifting is really almost indispensable. So we are in that space. Yeah.
So you have most of the corporate clients in Hong Kong, including all the major banks, as I understand. Now, you are going out there to do a IPO. I assume that you have some idea or plan to use the funding that you can get from that. Can you share what your plan is going forward?
Sure. Yeah, it's really exciting because doing business in Hong Kong or anywhere in the world nowadays, there's some despair among bosses or pessimism. Of course, the market is not great, but for us, since 6 to 7 years ago, we were already number one in gifting in Hong Kong, and we are still growing. But once you reach a certain plateau, it's not really easy to double. Like in the earlier years. But we have reviewed reports and markets. So we want to use the proceeding to go to other markets, such as the US. The US is 500 times the Hong Kong market. For example, just San Francisco alone, think of all the insurance agents, realtors, all the tech companies that need to give to clients, even KOLs. Nowadays, KOLs receive many gifts, right? So we are all in that space. So it's really um, uh, that's kind of our plan. And I think Hong Kong and since we're very close to the Greater Bay Area, our thoughts on styles and innovation has our own unique angle that I think certain US customers would also appreciate. Yeah, we are a bit ahead on certain things, but of course, the US also isn't a cakewalk, right? The market is quite mature. So, but if we do it right, we can have a certain impact, hopefully.
I am so happy to know that your plan is to go to the US market. And I hope you can succeed because at that time, I would probably have a chance to meet you in here in San Francisco or in New York, by the way. I don't know whether I have told you, my son, who actually graduated the same year as you, 2001. And he started in investment banking in LA, and then he
Wow.
went to New York. Now he's in New York in hedge fund, and he of course is quite knowledgeable in terms of the finance in New York. So I hope that when you go to New York, to get a chance to go to my son's office. He has an office. He has his own business. So it's your same age. I think you two would like each other a lot. So
Wow.
yeah. Now, uh, changing subject a little bit. I understand that this is a very special year for you. Not only are you planning to go IPO as soon as possible, maybe by the spring of next year. Uh, the other thing that you are, really, really, stand out is you are assuming the presidency of a very important trade association in Hong Kong. Can you share with me what your organization is and how significant is what you are going to do?
Oh, thanks again. By the way, I just want to comment. I think great gene runs in the family. So I really look forward to meeting you and your son. So
That's I.
accomplished. Yeah. Thank you. So our organization is called the Federation of Hong Kong Brands. It is an organization that would advance the agenda of Hong Kong brands doing better in the market and also maybe promoting it to the rest of the world. It was founded 10 years ago by C.K. Zhao. So C.K. Zhao, if I think many people knows him in Hong Kong as the king of hair products. We don't mean only in Hong Kong, but globally. He was a OEM and ODM manufacturer for maybe up to 50% of global hair products at one point. He was really a leading entrepreneur of his generation. So since we are called the Federation of Hong Kong Brands, in Hong Kong, as we register for these organizations, there are ordinance governing how they are named. Even in the Chinese name is even more significant, but being called a federation, it means it's an overarching trade organization of other brands associations. So at the time, the chief executive of Hong Kong needed to approve it.
Continue.
Right. So the organization was approved by the chief executive of Hong Kong. So it has a certain status amongst the Hong Kong Trade Association ecosystem. For example, in our 10th year inauguration, which I become the president, we had a vote at our annual AGM, our AGM meeting. And I got all the votes, so thanks to all the members. So it was a full vote of confidence on me to take the organization forward. The thing is, in the past few years, I run about 5 businesses and I invested in maybe a dozen others. So many experience of success and also failures, many failures, right? So we have learned many methods of or different industries, how they approach their clients and what kind of difficulties they're facing. So I'm also in health industry. We do many supplements trading. I'm in engineering, so electrical vehicles, they all need a charger, right? So we do a lot of those installations in Hong Kong. Also food, and I also collaborated with US, UK, Canada, Australia, different brands to create new products, food brands to create new products for our clients also. So uh, so uh, um, so it's really I'm really blessed to be able to use some of our knowledge, and also since due to my background, our online advertising is really my forte. So uh, this is a skill that I think all the bosses they love to chat with us to learn more about the latest trend also. So but our trade association is of course comprised of many capable, super capable members and our cabinet. So we hope we can use the latest information, latest resource to help Hong Kong as a whole, all the brands in Hong Kong and bosses. We are undergoing a period. I think it's the same across the globe. The economy is a bit slowing down. We're facing different challenges. Every 3 months, we see a new challenge. It's always constantly changing. So we hope to use our skill, knowledge, time, and ability to push forward brands in Hong Kong. And brands that might not just be in Hong Kong. We can be introducing China brands to outside. Southeast Asia brands are also, and also many European brands are trying to enter China. We are Hong Kong brands as an industry is doing a lot of work in all these areas. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that you must be quite impressive. Otherwise, the Federated Association would not nominate you unanimously, I understand, to be their president for the next 2 years. So impressed with your background. And also, the other thing is that you really know what you are doing. And it's not like that you depend on other people, which you do, but you have very good skills. Like you said, you have engineering, you have this, the ability for the online and all that stuff. And of course, most importantly, you are, you face new products, new areas, uh, you know, and you try new things. I'm very impressed. So I'm very glad that I have a chance to talk to you today. And before we end, I want to ask you, to share with us, any word of wisdom, anything that you have gained throughout the years.
Um, Again, the pleasure is all mine. So if there's one thing, because in these couple of years, it's really turbulent. Um, uh, COVID was tough, but post-COVID was even more tough. So I think sometimes I always want to share this message with all the other bosses. There's a saying in the business community that if you can stick it out for another 2 years, then the surviving companies can do very well. I don't know if that's a saying elsewhere in the world, but we can totally see it because there are business cycles and we are in a downturn right now. But I think that statement is a bit misconstructed. Don't stick out. Don't try to hold on to what you're doing. Because what's happening is over the next 2 years, certainly the survivors would win. But the way to survive is we are all losing 30 to 40% of our current revenue over the past couple of years. Any business is losing that part, right? Due to consumer the behaviors, different markets switching, we are losing it somehow. But we also need to find the new trends, catch on to the new trends, so we make up for the 30 to 40 that we lost, and also try to look for the next growth potential. When I say we're losing that part, I just mean even though you might be selling beverages, but your channels, the way your channels works, or the way you have your product alignment is all changed. For example, in our e-commerce world, we might be opening up a new. We might have produced a new type of video that is really catching on to a certain type of customers that want to buy get well gifts. That may contribute to 2% of our constant revenue, right? See, if we didn't do that video, then we would have lost that part. But there are other things that already cannibalize our market, right? So I think it's a matter of keep the course, stay the faith, but also move around so you can catch on to the survival formula of that imaginary company 2 years from now. That would be you, hopefully. So we can all try to work that. But whether it's Hong Kong or the Greater Bay Area, we see great hopes. Investments are starting to happen again. Things are improving. And think about it, the monthly Hong Kong spending size is about 30 billion, right? So no one can do that much of sales. So just don't need to look at the certain negative spending behaviors or cycle. If you are not capturing all that, then there's always space for you to do more, right?
I appreciate what you're telling me. I think we are going through a difficult time. The last 3 or 4 or 5 years have been quite difficult. But you see the good thing about uh going through a tough time is if you can get out, if you can get out alive, you'll be stronger. So I really enjoy talking to you today, having this opportunity to talk to you, and not only this time, but also I look forward to work with you, communicate with you, help each other. As I mentioned to you before we started this interview, I do know some people, and I'll tell them about you and introduce them to you. And then you are such a nice person. I appreciate your help to GBX. You are so generous. Every time I ask you to do something for me, you always fulfill that. Table here, table there. You always do that. So I thank you. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you so much. And Winston Yu and GBX is the most respected organization that I'm fortunate to be a part of. So also great wishes to GBX and a lot of growth.
So thank you for being a part of us, and we'll work together. So, all right. So bye now.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.